Welcome back to the Plutocracy Report. I'm your host, Vince Marcanti, and I hope you all have been great since the last time we talked. And I hope you had a wonderful turkey slaughter day, for what it's worth. Well, today's show is going to be about the modern media matrix, which is a new phrase that I coined this week. And I'm going to talk about conspiracy today. Now, I don't want to sound like a hypocrite either, so I'm going to tell you one that I believe to start out, and that is the weather manipulation, weather control, whatever you want to call it. Now, we have been freezing in Chicago for a couple weeks, and this weekend's going to be warm, and I'll tell you why. But the reason we've been cold and below normal, it's just like last year and the year before, it's a jet stream pattern, and it backs up off the coast of California, goes up north, brings warm air to Alaska, and brings cold air down on me, and it blows out east, and they get a lot of cold weather. In fact, it's the only place on Earth that has below normal temperatures lately. Now, I certainly believe ionosphere heating from HAARP downblasts is what creates the ridiculously resilient ridge and jet stream pattern that brings this cold to us. Also, I'm quite sure ice nucleation is being used, and this is a way to manufacture winter and below average temperatures for highly populated areas. Now, once the jet stream was allowed to flow unaffected, it brought rain to California and above average temperatures for 2 days we're going to get here in Chicago on Friday and Saturday. But then they're scheduled to do more HAARP blasts and chemical ice nucleation, and we're going to drop down below average for next week, and who knows what's going to happen after that. But they do this periodically, and if they don't do it, it would be a lot warmer here. Now, the local weathermen never shows the jet stream pattern, and they don't talk about anything, really. They just report temperatures and precipitations and make jokes. But I monitor the jet stream. For the last 3 years, I've been doing it. And there was a guy who did a YouTube channel called the HAARP Report, which he went into detail about the jet stream off the coast of California there and what they do to it. And it was very interesting and outraging, in my opinion. And I don't know why he stopped. He's still got his channel there, I see, but he doesn't do the jet stream report anymore. Who knows what happened? So I monitor it myself, and the jet stream looks like it hits a wall when they obviously zap the ionosphere, and it backs up off the coast of California. It goes way up north, bringing them warm air, and it rains down cold air on America. Right down on my head, it seems, here in Chicago area. But you can go to stormsurfing.com, and I get, I could see the jet stream pattern there. Most sites don't even have it. This is something they don't want us to see. I think more of us would see it's an anomaly, how the jet stream meanders now. And it is obviously unnatural, but now it probably seems normal since this has been going on for a few years now by my observations. Now, I believe winter would be so mild if weather modification wasn't being done that no one would be able to deny global warming anymore. I mean, not even the right-wing half-wits that seem to, never take facts into account. But, maybe some people think I'm nuts. But by my observations, I find this to be empirically true. And other conspiracies I see as pure fabricated BS. And they are mostly made up to allow fools to be able to disbelieve climate change or, just say Soros is behind everything bad in the world. He's the only plutocrat running the world, I guess, because they consider him a lefty plutocrat. It's not the righties. Anyways, today's show is about the confusion and delusion of the modern media matrix that we live in. Now, the goal is to hide or distort facts and present confusion and delusion to the sheepies. If we are dumb, divided, and disorganized, there will be no threat to the rulers of our government because people must know the truth to be outraged. and know who to focus their outrage on. Think about this. The problem of the world market system is a world problem. Plutocrats who devised this system are not loyalists of one country, like the country they were born in. They don't give a damn about America or any one country. Their allegiance is to the banking system that brings them such wealth. The stock market moves on speculation. It's unbelievable now. It's out of control. But consider this. When a lefty dude was elected the president of Mexico, the stock market dropped. And when the fascist POS in Brazil was elected, their stock market rises. Check it out. Brazilian assets jumped after investor favorite Bolsonaro took a commanding lead in the first round of the presidential election, garnering support that surpassed all polls. Traders are cheering on Bolsonaro to avoid a return to the left-wing Workers' Party and economic policies of the past few years, which led to the worst recession in a century. You see, the world has to comply with the money masters or their economy tanks, or worse will happen. You know, like when they wanted a fascist in Chile because they were going all lefty with Allende. And Nixon ordered the CIA to make their economy scream. Then we backed a coup and got Pinochet in there and loved it for a while the people suffered. You think maybe that's what's currently going on in Venezuela? We're going to make their economy scream. We're going to punish them until the plutocrats get the government they want out of Venezuela. The world economy is run in a horrific manner, and no one is proposing a new way. Most can't even envision how to solve the problems of our monetary system. But it's easy to fix if we change the way money is valued. The reason we don't know what's going on and how to do things is on purpose. We must be kept in confusion and delusion. Now, global warming is a good example. Everyone has their own ideas and can make up their own minds based on left or right ideology. You know, nothing is based on a scientific opinion. It's all just biases. Believe what you want to believe, sheepies. Now, this may seem like an odd example, but I'm going to talk about last week's new South Park episode, and you'll soon understand why this is pertinent to my topic this week. You know, I guess you could say every show has good ones and sometimes not so good ones. Well, you know, no show can be on all the time, especially if they've been around a long time. Oh, well, except for this show, because all of them are good. But South Park made some dumb episodes. But others can be hilarious and brilliant sometimes. I thought the first few years of South Park really sucked, but they caught on, and Comedy Central let them keep going and do whatever they wanted to do. And now they're in their 22nd season, and they have a good formula of using current issues for their metaphoric satire. Now, what I have ascertained over the years is the writers are, or at least were, libertarians. And I liked how they made fun of both sides of the mind-prison dichotomy. But I do clearly remember they made fun of global warming, and they didn't take it seriously at all. You know, just like a majority of Americans still to this day. Well, no informed person can honestly deny climate change anymore. So the honorable thing to do is say, sorry, I was wrong. I get it now. You know, don't say, I changed my mind about climate change, because you didn't. You were proven wrong. It's like if you asked an evangelical from Alabama in 1903 on December 7th, will man ever fly? They would say, of course not. God would have given man wings if he wanted us to fly. So then you take him to the windswept beach in North Carolina on that very day when the Wright brothers made 4 historic flights. And as Wilbur glides over their heads on a flight that lasted 59 seconds, they would say, I changed my mind. I guess man can fly. No, that is not voluntarily changing your mind. You were proven wrong. You have to admit you were wrong, and if you're cool, you will do it gracefully. Well, that doesn't happen nowadays in the modern media matrix we exist in. Nowadays, if you prove someone wrong, they don't feel like they have to accept it. Nor is proof required for their opinions anymore in this state of contrived distraction, discord, confusion, and delusion. That's why I like this new South Park episode so much, because they admit they were wrong about climate change, and I really admire people who admit they were wrong. It takes class and nobility, and no one should be afraid to do it. So this South Park was great. They brought back Al Gore, who, long ago warned everyone of man-bear-pig, which is their metaphor for climate change. But no one believed him, and now man-bear-pig has arrived and is biting the heads off people in the town, and everyone is still finding it hard to believe, and they're distracting themselves playing Red Dead Redemption, and they're all living in delusion, much like the real world. Now, it's a 2-part episode, and you should watch it because it's hilarious and a brilliant metaphor for climate change. But in our modern media matrix world, people are kept confused or totally oblivious to the greatest predicament humankind ever faced, which is now obvious and apparent. But all we hear are opinions like, maybe the climate is changing a little bit, but it's not our fault, or the sun is just getting hotter, or the only climate change is from the liberal New World Order using chemtrails and HARP to trick us into global warming and get a carbon tax on CO2, which is actually good for us, no matter how much is pumped into the atmosphere. Everyone's got these goofy theories. Well, some of us know what's up, but most don't. The powers that shouldn't be made it normal to be confused and misinformed about basic research and projections. So they have righties just deny facts, and lefties pretend the danger is far in the future. So the question for them is, when should I start to worry? All right, listen to this. And remember, man-bear-pig is the metaphor for climate change.
All right, everyone. I realize a lot of people have died and most of the roads have been destroyed due to all the fires. So I'd like to thank you all for coming to tonight's symposium, When Should I Start to Worry? I'd like to make this an open discussion and hope we can all participate in ways that give us better insight. Yes, Mr. Clarkson.
I'm pretty sure there's a man-bear-pig, and I'm fairly certain that he's eaten 2 of my children and destroyed our home. When should I start to worry?
That's an excellent question. There's definitely evidence that all the death and destruction around us is due to a man-bear-pig.
But no exact correlation to a man-bear-pig.
Definitely none. That's why we're all here to try to pinpoint, when should I start to worry?
I think that the time to start worrying is coming. I don't know if I believe in man-bear-pig or not, but I do know that I'm open to the idea of starting to worry.
I think Stephen echoes a lot of our feelings right now.
Foolish mortals, your time is nigh. Face your hand.
It looks like Satan is here. Should I start to worry?
Yeah, I think you might start to worry now. Now, that is accurate in how people are manipulated to view climate change. Lefties think, it's probably real, and if we don't rejoin the Paris Agreement by 2030, Florida might get some flooding by 2100. So they got solutions, too. We need to elect a Democrat president, then we'll be able to talk more about it. And the Democrats are not just useless, but they're counterproductive. And both parties must die, and I mean right away, by 2020. Now, later in the show, Satan says, I can't help you, kids. It's your problem. Your grandparents made a deal with man-bear-pig long ago to keep their cars and their ice cream and their way of life without having to deal with him then. And in return, man-bear-pig went away for a few decades. But the final clause in the agreement was that when he returns, it'll be 100 times worse. And now he's back and strong as hell. Well, Cartman brilliantly points out to Satan that since we humans have been doing all the evil work on earth for him and doing it so well, that he has had it easy for so long. So in return, he should kill man-bear-pig for us, to return the favor. And the devil, who's actually a nice guy in the show, he kindly agrees. But the man-bear pig is so strong that it kicks the devil's ass, and it rips his horn off his head and stabs him with it. So Satan dies and goes to heaven. Now, the righties just, deny the existence of man-bear pig right up until it bites their heads off. And, of course, the lefties still aren't quite sure if they should begin to consider if they should start to worry soon, as chaos abounds everywhere.
Now on Park County Cable Access, should we start to worry? With your host, Jim Kimball. As our town continues to burn to the ground, Satan has been slaughtered and sent to heaven. Should we start to worry? Joining me now, an expert on our county resources and preparedness, Alec Vaughn. Alec, should we start to worry? Jim, I think we should definitely consider starting to worry. Satan was one of the most powerful entities supposedly in the universe, and Man-Bear Pig annihilated him like a bitch. I don't think we should waste any more time underestimating the importance of beginning to think about starting to worry. Also joining us is the former Vice President, Al Gore. Mr. Gore, do you believe it's time for us to deliberate the process of starting to worry?
If by worrying you mean getting ethereal, then an emphatic yes.
I don't think there's any more room for not considering underestimating the importance of beginning to start the process of mulling over the conceptualization of starting to worry. And the time to do it is very soon.
That, my friends, is turning real-life tragedy and stupidity into comedic gold. There are very few things in my mind I believe are true that can't be verified, at least empirically. This can vary in opinion, come to think of it. Like, would you consider JFK verifiable conspiracy, or is it still considered opinion? Like, you can look at the Warren Commission and discover how flawed and improbable it is, but the government can say, nope, it's all true. Bullets can be magical, and we had experts corroborate, and you're nuts if you believe conspiracy theory. Well, you can waste all your time examining the event, looking for conclusive truth, but the first thing everyone should do is look for motive. What conditions preceded the event? Did JFK make any enemies? If so, were they powerful enemies that would profit from his assassination? And I could use a whole show talking about how he disobeyed the Warren banking and deep state policy plutocrats, but that's a waste of time. We all know more people were involved in killing JFK, than just the patsy Oswald. And the same with 9/11. You can deconstruct and pick apart every aspect of the 9/11 Commission, and they will just say, nope, it's all true, and conspiracy theories are nuts and treasonous. Well, again, just consider if there was a plausible motive for the plutocrats to pull off this horrific event. Yes, there was. They even admitted an event like this is what was needed to achieve their long-term policy, both domestic and foreign. Then ask, did they benefit and achieve their goals? Yes, in every way, domestically and every way in foreign policy, until Syria, anyways, when the Russians finally got involved a few years ago. But our government and we the people have never challenged the plutocrat agenda in any substantial way. On anything, not just the military agenda. But we're going to change that soon, my brothers and sisters. The first victory is all we need. And you know what that is. They know it too. They even had Nancy Pelosi say one of the three main issues now for the Democrats, now that they have the House, is campaign finance reform. Yeah, we can trust them to take care of everything, so we don't have to take to the streets. Just go back to sleep, America. Damn Democrats. Anyways, my point was, I believe those events are empirically true plutocrat conspiracies, though it is still denied by everyone in government. We don't have to waste time debating 9/11 anymore. It was an incredibly crafted and daring stunt that required total confidence to attempt. We all know about what happened with NORAD and Building 7 and no video or wreckage at the Pentagon or Shanksville. There's that Silverstein, Cheney, Rumsfeld, the Saudis, the Israelis. Yeah, we know. When are we going to do something about it? We get distracted by conspiracies And distraction is the condition the plutocrats want us in. Now, in order to distract people who are aware enough to know not to trust the damn government, they spread insane conspiracy all over YouTube and Facebook. And there's, flat earth goofs out there, and Ice Age is coming believers, and the ozone layer magically fixed itself believers. And now every time there's a wildfire, they say the houses were incinerated by direct energy weapons, so George Soros can build a bullet train railway system or a smart city or whatever. Or they say chemtrails are not for solar radiation management because global warming's a hoax. They actually have nanobots in them, and it's to control us or eventually slow kill us for Agenda 21. This is really what people are saying. Nanorobots, tiny little robots are in chemtrails, so we breathe them in. It's all over YouTube. I even heard some women talking about it on a radio show here. They take a true secret government program like geoengineering and make up convoluted comic book conspiracies, and then everything sounds crazy and stupid. And that pisses me off. All people who believe stuff like that have one thing in common. They don't believe global warming is real, and it's the biggest government hoax of all time. Your bias will feed your beliefs, period. That needs to change. We got to unite on what's real. Fine, you don't want to believe that. We'll unite on something else. Excuse me. Because this is a huge problem for finding unity of the working class. People still argue about aliens. What's the point? If they are out there and visit us, it's clear they don't want to reveal themselves to us because we have no irrefutable evidence to prove to the world that they exist. So maybe they don't even exist. And if they do, they're assholes who want to stay hidden. So forget about it. Let's deal with what we can affect. The aliens can't help us. To hell with them. If we take back our government, we will get all the secrets they ever kept from us. And there will be no more hidden agendas and secrets. And you know what? Come to think of it, I'd like to point out that when we do take back our government, we won't treat the plutocrats and the technocrats and their order-following lackeys like the judgment at Nuremberg. Just tell us the truth about what you know, and you won't face a firing squad. We have to be sure when we take back the power, we are organized and humane. No French Revolution crap where we start chopping off heads of the plutocrats one by one for public spectacle. I mean, that would be restarting another insane system that would lead right back to plutocracy and ruler worship. No, this time the people will have it right. No more violence and secret agendas and celebrated greed. All we want is two things in our central planning: sanity and humanity. So all the convoluted comic book conspiracies that are out there, all they do is confuse and subdue and further divide us. And that's why I talk about this crap. Even some people who I thought were too rational to fall for such implausible speculations like laser beams for fake wildfires, they're talking about it. Vinny, what is that noise? Can you turn that down? Jeez, put your phone on vibrate. That's really annoying. And why are you taking calls during the show? What? What do you mean? No, I'm not taking any more calls, especially from that jerk. What? He's got connections to Jimmy G. Come on. Ay, what the hell? All right, let's make this quick for Christ's sake. All right, my friends, I'm sorry about this, but this Bruja guy from the last show demanded he be put back on the air or some thugs are going to kick my ass when I least expected. Oh, I don't even know this guy, but he's got some balls, huh? I guess he knows this high roller from the north side who has some thugs he could pay to harass me and try to kick my ass whenever I'm hanging out over there, working a gig whenever I'm on the north side, that Edison Park area. Over there near O'Hare, Well, listen, I ain't afraid of you, Bruja. I'm old school Italian jiu-jitsu, fool. But I don't want to have to defend myself against some thugs, because I'd feel bad about sending them all to the hospital with broken bones and bruises. So I'm just going to let this guy talk and get it over with. So please bear with me, my friends. Hello, Bruja. Welcome back to the Plutocracy Report.
Yeah, well, even if you are some tough guy with your Italian jiu-jitsu, which you probably just made up, you're afraid of my words and my wisdom, and that's why I had to threaten you to get back on this stupid show.
All right, enough with the insults. I'm giving you a chance to talk again, and I will openly admit I am a bit frightened right now by what you might say. But come on, let's hear it. I got to move on. I got much to cover today, Bruja. Let's go.
Yeah, you better be afraid. And don't rush me, commie. Now, I sent over a site for your dumbass to look at that shows direct energy beams are being used to burn people's homes in California, and you just brush it off like it's not even happening. Look at those pictures. They are real. God-fearing patriots all over this country know the truth about the liberal deep state agenda to use direct energy weapons to burn out California for Agenda 21. And George Soros can build a high-speed rail system and smart cities. Or to rule over us like kings, and you don't even care.
Well, which is it, Bruja? I thought they want to kill us, but what, do they want to just rule over us like kings now? As if they don't already do that? And why didn't your hero Trump stop them? I mean, do you admit he is a powerless sock puppet, like I've been saying? And I'm curious, how did it all go down? Are they using planes or satellites to shoot energy beams in various homes and businesses? You know, which is it?
Well, I don't know how they do it. Just look at the pictures. It's clear dues were used.
What do you know about dues? You know how much power it would take to incinerate a mansion? How many shots did they make? Hundreds or thousands? Because I guess what you guys are trying to say is each house had an individual energy beam shot at them from somewhere in the sky or space. You know, they even claimed trees and bridges were shot. So I guess nothing was really burning from a wildfire. It was just all from laser beams, right?
Well, yeah, why not? This technology has been online for years, and the socialist New World Order are insane Luciferian pedophiles.
All right, I don't know for sure if they're all pedophiles, but the plutocrat power elite are definitely ruthless, greedy, and sociopathic, and I guess you could say that is definitely evil. But I don't believe in Lucifer. I will admit this is actually plausible because I did see a video by Lockheed Martin, you know, those rats over there who make weapons, talking about how they were developing a laser weapon system for shooting down missiles or drones. And they showed a 30-kilowatt prototype that was land-based, and it could put a 6-inch hole in a car hood. But remember, that was a promotional video. They're trying to sell it. I don't think they can do what you think they can do, and I don't see any of the proposed motives as likely either. I mean, you're saying our government intentionally burned everything just to claim the land, right?
Yeah, that's right, commie. It's plain for anyone to see if they just look at it and investigate a little.
Well, I don't see it, dude. I mean, if they start building a huge, deep underground military bunker in Paradise, California, maybe I'll change my mind. Until then, I'm not buying this. The motive does not hold up. Of course, being a non-biased fellow, I will remain open to any new evidence about dues being used for this fire. But do me a favor and listen to these facts, Bruja, because this is what you righty freaks and the entire modern media matrix ignores. Climate change. The last 5 years have been the hottest on record for California, and they got 1 inch of rain the entire season. The jet stream is broken and interfered with, and weather patterns stall in place. Like the ridiculously resilient ridge is a new weather term you probably haven't heard of, so look it up. And consider this. The campfire began under atmospheric conditions with no comparison in history. Northern California's vegetation dryness was off the charts, exceeding the 99th percentile for any single day as far back as local records go. And worse than having no rain is negative rain. That means the air was so dry it was sucking water out of the land. The Earth is warming. Climate change makes natural disasters worse. In this case, the fire burns hotter and longer and larger areas. Our plutocrats know about climate change and have for a long time, and they ignored it and constructed propaganda to make sure we don't change our system and society because they want to ensure their continued money flow, period. You know, that's even worse than using laser beams to burn houses. This is not a hoax. It's the truth, Bruja, and we need to unite under the common goal of overthrowing these plutocrats, or New World Order if you like. Let's get over this stupid bickering about comic book conspiracies.
I'll tell you what the biggest hoax is. Global freaking warming. I mean, is it cold enough for you now over there? It's been below average for Chicago for weeks.
Yeah, I was talking about that at the start of the show. It's from the jet stream meandering its way up to Alaska with warm air, and then it rains cold air down on us and out east. Plus, I do believe chemical ice nucleation is being used quite often.
You're insane. You're the conspiracy nut. The Earth is actually cooling, and we should worry about an ice age, if anything. Global warming is a hoax for the liberals to make a carbon tax, and our president knows it, and he's fighting them.
Well, of course people will try to profit off of it, but it doesn't make it false. I mean, it's the same with war. Plutocrats profit off it, but it doesn't mean the dead bodies and all the destruction is fake. Here's an agenda, Bruja. This is a real agenda you can't deny. The guy on the website you sent me who was saying these pictures prove the government used laser weapons to burn California. They don't prove anything. Some aren't even from the recent fire. And just because a tree next to a burned house is okay isn't proof of a freaking laser beam. I went over this last time there was a big fire in California. You know, when the same crap was being spread. Well, the guy who made this crap up is named Ray Gano, and he wants you to subscribe and pay monthly to become a PZ Insider, and he wants you to buy his books. One here is about Lucifer, a fictional character. Yeah, he likes fiction. Another one about Ebola crisis. Yeah, that didn't kill us, did it? And one about how to preserve your wealth in a crash. Bet she's got some great ideas. So it's clear this charlatan has an agenda and is making money off you evangelical comic book conspiracy freaks. Think about how stupid the whole theory sounds and join the rationalist movement. Give up your contrived biases.
I'm not joining you. You want a godless Luciferian society of socialism.
Search your heart, Bruja. You know that's not true. We just want what's best for all people in the planet. There are many things we can all agree on, and all our differences are trivial and contrived.
There is nothing we can agree on. You have to accept our Lord and join our movement to save America from the liberal New World Order.
You know what? Fine. I accept your Lord if I have to, but as long as we unite and overthrow the entire government, and not just the Democrats, all of them, because we need a government of, by, and for the people. Now, I'm going to play a song for you that is going to prove we agree on the most important issue and obvious fact.
No. I ain't listening to your hippie crap music. Play some Nickelback or some good old country music.
No, sir. I will die before I play Nickelback on this show. Just listen to the words in the song. I guarantee we both agree with what he's saying, at least in the chorus. We can unite the lefty and the righty sheepies because we all know what kind of people are running the world. Roll it, Vinny.
Well, did you hear? There's a natural order. Those most deserving will end up with the most. that the cream cannot help but always rise up to the top. Well, I say, shit floats. If you thought things had changed, friend, you better think again. Bluntly put in the fewest of words, cunts are still running the world. Cunts are still running the world. Now the working classes are obsolete. They are surplus to society's needs. So let them all kill each other and get it made overseas. That's the word, don't you know, from the guys that's running the show. Let's be perfectly clear, boys and girls. Oh, cunts are still running the world. Cunts are still running the world. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We'll feed your children on crayfish and lobster tails. Find a school near the top of the league. In theory, I respect your right to exist. I will kill you if you're moving next to me. It stinks. It sucks. It's anthropologically unjust. Oh, but the takings are run by a third. So cunts are still running the world. 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 The free market is perfectly natural. Do you think that I'm some kind of dummy? It's the ideal way to order the world. Fuck the morals, does it make any money? And if you don't like it, then leave. Or use your right to protest on the streets. Yeah, use your right, but don't imagine that it's hurt. No, 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 cunts are still running the world. Cunts are still running the world. Yeah, cunts are still running the world. Yeah, cunts are still running the world. Oh, cunts are still running the world. Cunts are still running the world. Cunts are still running the world.
Well, all right. That was Jarvis Cocker telling us who's still running the world. I only heard of him from the movie Children of Men. Check it out if you didn't see it. That was pretty good. Well, thank you, Jarvis. That's not a word I like to use, but, I know you limeys like to use it a lot. And you got your point across quite well, so thank you, my friend. Now let's consider what some people think is great news about the future of the American government. I mean, maybe we don't need a revolution because Democrats are going to really set things right this time. All we got to do is keep believing they are the party of the people who will save us from the fascist Trumpers. This is what NPR is saying. This was a big blue wave. Democrats pick up most House seats in a generation. It's the most House seats gained by Democrats since the wave election following Watergate. President Richard Nixon resigned in August of 1974, leading to Democrats picking up 49 seats that fall. Isn't that great? Change is coming to America, folks. Okay, well, before I get too sarcastic, let's see what they are planning to do with this amazing new majority. This is from CNN, the Childish News Network. After sweeping the victory in the House, Democrats plan to use their investigative powers next year to reopen the House's Russia investigation, probe possible obstruction of justice, and fight to ensure that Special Counsel Robert Mueller's findings are not hidden from the public. Oh, joyous! The renewed focus in a Democrat-run House on the key elements of the special counsel's probe will play out as Democratic leaders will face pressures both internally and externally to launch proceedings into impeaching President Donald Trump. Oh, boy. What a wonderful way to focus our efforts, huh, Democrats? They're a party of nothingness. This should make motivation for boycott and a new party easy. There is nothing to hope for from either party but excuses and pageantry and bullshit rhetoric. Maybe a few members in the Democratic House now are talking about Medicare for all, but do you really think the whole party will take up that issue and get it passed? Come on. We have to demand it. A majority of people want it. It's time to stand together. Righties are getting screwed by health care insurance just as much as lefties are. We can agree to a locally run, government-paid health care plan free of outside money influence.
No, Vince, we have to give the Democrats another chance. Maybe in 2020, they'll take back full power, and they're going to end war, hunger, poverty, and initiate a green energy Marshall Plan. And maybe they'll even adapt and prepare our people for abrupt climate change. Oh, and they're so progressive, they might also change the way money works and end the debt-based system of the plutocrats, right? This time it'll be different if we just wait and obey.
Well, let's give them a chance, okay? Maybe they are planning on having a new candidate with true progressive values and ideas to run against Trump. So let's see what the modern media matrix is saying. Headlines from the Wall Street Journal. Hillary Clinton will run again, reinventing herself as a liberal firebrand. Miss Clinton will easily capture the 2020 nomination. Get ready for Hillary 4.0, more than 30 years in the making. This new version of Miss Clinton, when she runs for president in 2020, will come full circle back to universal health care, promoting progressive firebrand of 1994. True to her name, Miss Clinton will fight this out until the last dog dies. She won't let a little thing like 2 stunning defeats stand in the way of her claim to the White House. Miss Clinton has a 75% approval rating among Democrats and an unfinished mission to be the first female president. Expect Hillary to come out swinging. They will see her now as strong, partisan, left-leaning, and all Democrat. The one with the guts, experience, and steely-eyed determination to defeat Mr. Trump. She has had 2 years to go over what she did wrong and how to take him on again. Richard Nixon came back from his loss to John F. Kennedy in 1960 and won the presidency in 1968. He will be the model for winning again. Oh, God, I can't believe they wrote that. I just got nauseous reading this. I mean, I guess you could compare Hillary to Nixon, but she's far more conservative than that rat. Now, I predicted that a more liberal actor will get the nomination, and I said it would be Elizabeth Warren. Or else, the lefty sheepies will be more likely to abandon the stupid party and join us, the rationalists. But maybe they truly are so useless and apathetic that this would be accepted. You think? I don't know. They'll be like, oh, at least she's better than Trump. She'll be the first lady to be president. Wouldn't that be great? This is from the Chicago Sun-Times. Hillary Clinton remains the Democrats' best chance to defeat Trump in 2020. She beat Donald J. Trump last time, at least by popular vote. Can't you do it again this time for real? What does this say about us? How dumb do they think we are? Or do they know we are? I mean, we're so dumb that we keep doing the same thing over and expecting a different outcome. We are dumb, but it doesn't have to be permanent. You want to know who would win in a Trump-Clinton rematch? Well, if the economy didn't crash yet, Trump would win. If it did, Hillary. And it wouldn't matter economically or in other policy. Either way, who the freak wins. That's our system, and they want to keep it this way. Well, maybe Andrew Yang will beat Hillary in the primaries. But I don't think Yang can rig the state voting systems like Hillary did to beat Sanders last time. I think a lot of people know how stupid our government is, but they just feel powerless and they don't think we can change in any way, which is BS. Our current government is subservient to the plutocrats and nefarious influences, and the new House Democrats will be no different. Just listen to this. Newly elected progressives confront AIPAC test. People in the pro-Palestinian community worldwide will be watching to see if any of the new left-wing progressives elected in the midterms will dare to speak out and vote against the wishes of the Israeli lobby. The answer will likely come next year, early next year, in test votes sponsored by the American Israeli Public Affairs Committee, or AIPAC, after the 116th Congress convenes. If the past is any guide, Democratic leaders will insist on strict subservience from newcomers to the party's foreign policy priorities, which include U.S. sponsorship and defense of the Israeli occupation and war crimes. If anyone votes against the wishes of the Israeli lobby, you think there might be consequences? Oh, freaking course. It's well documented. They'll be smeared and get no money to be reelected. So they all go along with the program like good little sock puppets. You think that needs to change, Democrats? Now, I didn't mention Republicans for this topic because I think they support Israeli war crimes and they don't care about Palestinians or much of anything, really. They have their biases and their hate, but they really don't care about things in a compassionate way. And I'll tell you what, they don't care about human health. And this is scary but expected. And most people won't even think about this twice. Listen, Trump administration moves to loosen radiation rules. Says it's good for you. The Trump administration is looking to relax regulations on radiation in the United States, drawing from the opinion of scientific outliers who say low doses of radiation are actually good for the human body. Oh, okay, Trump, that makes sense. You're not just doing what your masters tell you to do, you're doing it for us. He's looking out for us, and he wants us to get our healthy dose of radiation daily. Jeez. The government's current decades-old guidance says that any exposure to harmful radiation is a cancer risk, and critics say the proposed change could lead to higher levels of exposure for workers at nuclear installations and oil and gas drilling sites, medical workers doing X-rays and CT scans, people living next to Superfund sites, and any members of the public who one day might find themselves exposed to a radiation release. The Trump administration already has targeted a range of other regulations on toxins and pollutants, including coal power plant emissions and car exhaust, that it sees as costly and burdensome for business. Supporters of the EPA's new proposal argue that government's current no-tolerance rule for radiation damage forces unnecessary spending for handling exposure in accidents at nuclear plants, in medical centers, and at other sites. This would have a positive effect on human health as well as save us billions and billions and millions of dollars, said Edward Calabrese, a toxicologist at the University of Massachusetts, who is to be the lead witness at a congressional hearing Wednesday on the EPA's proposal. The EPA's proposal would lead to increase in chemical and radiation exposure in the workplace, home, and outdoor environment, including the vicinity of Superfund sites. There is no true science. They write the findings that they want. And some asshole like Calabrese comes up with a theory to support it. Upward money flow runs the world, and they use lies to fool us. They don't give a god darn about our health. But I have some good news. We are seeing people begin to wake up and realize we are being lied to. The CDC admits that social media has led to large numbers of people questioning the efficacy and safety of vaccines, and they're losing money. I just saw a news campaign today on the local news, and they were telling everyone, go out and get your dog or cat a flu vaccine. When things no longer make money, they go away. And the only way to prevent that is, if the government orders us to take vaccines, if they make it mandatory, which they already began doing. But we, the truth seekers, are starting to gain momentum, and we can wake up to all the realities of our evil government, and we can change things soon. Don't give up, my friends. Keep speaking out. All right, before we say goodbye, I want to mention a little something about the clowny who's called president. Here's a headline. The president is mentally unwell, and everyone around him knows it. Yeah, no kidding. I could tell just by watching him on TV. Now, I just want to play a short clip. It's only 1:20, and it's about the chump man talking about the fire that just happened. He's standing out there with this idiot Jerry Brown. They're all a bunch of rats, but listen to how Trump sounds. I mean, he's delusional. He can't even get the name of the town that burned right, and he lies. He says things that never happened. Listen.
As big as they look on the tube, you don't see what's going on until you come here. And what we saw at Pleasure, what a name right now. But what we just saw, we just left Pleasure for Paradise. And what we just saw at Paradise is just, it's just not acceptable. I was with the president of Finland, and he said, we have a much different, we're a forest nation. He called it a forest nation. And they spend a lot of time on raking and cleaning and doing things, and they don't have any problem. And when it is, it's a very small problem. So I know everybody's looking at that, to that end, and it's going to work out. It's going to work out well. I think we're all in the same path. We do have to do management, maintenance, and we'll be working also with environmental groups. They've really, I think everybody's seen the light. And I don't think we'll have this again to this extent. We're going to have to work quickly. But a lot of people are very much, there's been a lot of study going on over the last little while. And I will say, I think you're going to have, hopefully this is going to be the last of these, because this was a really, really bad one.
Here's what I wrote above the post. Eloquent, brilliant, and cogent as always. There is no issue this genius can't fix. He didn't address climate change, but drought, heat, and air so dry it sucks moisture from the ground can be fixed with a giant lawn sprinkler after we rake and clean. We're in such good hands, America. This guy is just something else. I can't get over it. He's the president, and I can't believe people take him seriously still. That's the main thing, that they still take him seriously. But, I posted another article I saw from CBS News, so I don't know if it's true, but it probably is, because it says, the president of Finland denies telling Donald Trump any of that. No surprise. The guy can't tell the difference from lies and delusions and fabrications. All he wants to do is get through the next couple years. I don't think he wants to go for 8 years, because even his dumbass probably knows the problems that are coming. But he acts like, we're going to fix it. We're just going to rake it out, and things are going to be great. This will never happen again. Not one mention of global warming. not one mention of being concerned about it and trying to adapt to new technologies. Never a mention of changing anything for the good of all humanity. Oh, it's just sickening. They have nothing. All they're trying to do is perpetuate the status quo until all hell breaks loose. They know it's coming. They don't give a goddarn. They just hope it's far enough to where they'll die before the worst comes. We got to take our country back. That can lead to the entire globe, the entire species, taking back control and returning to sanity and humanity. But we have to do it here, and we can't give up, and we can't just wait until we vote for Hillary in 2020 to beat Trump. Come on, we got to do it. Don't give up, my friends. Keep fighting. Keep speaking out, and I'll talk to you again next week. It was my honor and privilege to speak to you today. Until next week, I'm Vince Marcanti, and this was the Plutocracy Report. Until next time, bye-bye.
I love your body, 'cause I've lost my mind. If you want someone to talk to, you're wasting your time. If you want someone to share your life, you need someone who's alive. And if every relationship is a two-way street, I have been screwing in the back whilst you drive. I never said I was deep, but I am profoundly shallow. My lack of knowledge is vast, and my horizons are narrow. I never said I was big. I never said that I was clever. And if you're waiting to find what's going on in my mind, you could be waiting forever, forever and ever. And I can dance you to the end of the night, 'cause I'm afraid of the dark. I have to confess, I'm out of my depth. You're going over my head, oh, and straight through my heart. Ooh. Some girls like to play it dirty. Some girls want to be your mom. Me, I disrespected you whilst we were waiting for the taxi to come. My morality is shabby, my behavior unacceptable. No, I'm not looking for a relationship, just a receptacle. I never said I was. 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 Oh, but I am profoundly shallow. My lack of knowledge is vast, and my horizons are narrow. Oh yeah, I never said I was deep.